So you've been in a relationship with a narcissist. Maybe you've gotten out of the abuse, maybe you're still stuck in it. But a lot of times people are wondering, they're asking, and they're trying to figure out, how do I actually defend against narcissistic abuse? How do I actually work to make sure that it doesn't happen in my life, or that when it does happen, or if I'm in that relationship, how do I actually keep my sanity? How do I actually work through that? I want to talk to you today on a couple different ways of like understanding, having some of that education, being able to find the truth, and then be able to help control the reaction. Because a lot of those come together to be able to help you actually fight against dealing with narcissistic abuse and falling into prey of playing their games. Because that's all it is. It's a game to be able to control the mass, to be able to control the person, to be able to control you, to be able to manufacture your emotions. And time again, we see that. So, would love to be able to have you watch today, just be able to join in. If you don't know anything about me, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. And I do it in a couple different ways. Do it by providing free content on all the platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. If you don't follow me, go to Raw Motivations, and I'll be there. Raw Motivations on all those platforms. If you're listening to the podcast, like, rate, or review, or share, just so we can help promote that, so people understand more about what narcissistic abuse is. If you want to be a part of a community of like-minded people that are learning, growing, changing, healing, getting advice, helping to support and encourage other people, then go to narcapp.com. It stands for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. It stands for NARC. That's the name of the app, narcapp.com. Would love to be able to have you join us there, be able to understand about it, be able to learn as we continue to add and grow that platform, and also help people in their journey healing, growing, and changing. Love to have you engage on the Monday Night Lives or on the monthly coaching, where we have coaches from all over the country be able to come together and be able to help you heal, grow, and change and progress moving forward. So I'd love to have you interact with that. I can't wait to see you in there. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, reach out, rawmotivations.com. That's the best way to be able to reach out to me. So anyways, jumping in, I want to be able to talk to you today about the idea of how to defend against narcissistic abuse. What does that look like? Because abuse from a narcissist comes in all different aspects, in all different ways, which makes it really hard to be able to fight all of them. It makes it really hard to be able to stand up against all of them, or a lot of times even acknowledge the ones that are there. Typically, you have distortion, distraction, and devaluation that's happening in narcissistic abuse. When people are distorting your reality, a lot of times you're seeing that through the form of gaslighting. You're seeing it where the narcissist is purposely putting stuff in your life to make you feel crazy. Moving things, changing the story, changing stuff around the house, different things that make you feel like, wait a second, the reality that I've been believing, maybe it's not true. So as a result, you start thinking that you're crazy. Love bombing is a huge one, where the overt praise and overt gift giving and things that go above and beyond that make you feel like the person that's the best person in the world, but they're using that in a manipulation tactic, is huge, because that's a huge aspect of changing your reality of what's actually true in that moment. Same thing happens with future faking, distorting the reality of promises in the future. False promises that never come to fruition because of the fact that they're only there as a false promise to keep you moving forward, to keep that relationship. They do that through distorting your reality. They do that also by distracting you. The distractions that they bring into your life a lot of times are the lies, omitting stuff, hiding stuff, just flat out lying. They do it with triangulation, where they pit you against another person, whether that's actually in the same room, whether that's your own family member, whether that's someone, a previous supplier or previous ex that they're talking about or bringing up to try to make you understand how you're supposed to live or what's supposed to happen. They do that with isolation, taking you away from friends and family, slowly dividing and putting a wedge in between all those different people so that they're the only person that you keep coming back to. And they do that through devaluation, putting you down, making you feel not good enough, making you feel small and unworthy, discarding you, shoving the new supply in your face, making everything seem like it is your fault. So one of the biggest ways is with all those different types of abuse, there's a lot of different things coming at you. There's a lot of different things that either you know or you don't know, or you're just becoming aware of, that you're like, holy cow, this is stuff that I've struggled with. This is stuff that's been put on me. The first step is really to get that education, to know yourself and to know what's going on in the relationship. A lot of times I'll talk about it as being when you first find out about narcissism, it's like drinking from a fire hydrant. right? There's just so much information like coming at you like 24/7 of like, this is new, this is new. I just realized this aha moment over here, light bulb moment over here. A lot of things you're like realizing of like, oh my gosh, like I didn't understand all this stuff, but now I do. And there's a huge aspect of like knowing and consuming a lot of that information is essential so that you can know the tactic that the narcissist is using. If you don't know what they're attacking you with, if you don't know what gaslighting, triangulation, new supply, if you don't know some of those things, you don't know how to be able to combat those because you don't have an understanding of what's actually happening and the malicious nature behind it. The other thing is like whenever they're bringing up stuff. So like knowing the tactic is essential because how it practically plays out. Okay. So think of it this way, like bringing up his mom or her previous ex, something like that, that's using it in a form to be able to put you down. Okay. You have like triangulation there. So the triangulation is using someone else to be able to infiltrate into the conversation and be able to make you feel bad or make you feel unworthy. And so like stopping the conversation and be like, whoa, like we're not talking about your mom. We're not talking about, your previous partner or anything like that. This is what we're talking about. So let's focus on the actual topic. They'll hate that because they don't want to be held accountable and responsible of the conversation. Or maybe the idea of like showering him with affection, attention, and gifts and be like, wait a second, like you're missing it. Like she's drifting from the site of the issue. Like we need to get back to the stuff that we're struggling with that we have to go through. So like, let's focus on the task at hand. Because otherwise, if you don't understand what they're doing, if you don't understand how they're attacking through those different venues, you don't know how to be able to say like, wait a second, like let's stop focusing on this. That's that huge aspect of distraction is they want to be able to distract you from the problem at hand. Oh, well, I'm upset at you because you saw a text on my phone. Okay, but that's not the point. The point is that you were cheating on me. The point is you were being unfaithful. So there's a lot of different things that you need to understand about narcissism before you can even hope to have a stand or before you can even hope to make sense of it, okay? So there's an aspect of like you need to become a truth seeker, not just education, but also a truth seeker in the relationship of like relentlessly going after the truth, but in a calm way. And this is hard for a lot of people to do because there's a lot of emotions tied to this. There's a lot of emotions when we're talking about the person in your life that said that they loved you, that's cheating on you, that's interacting with these different ways. There's a lot of things that go into this, but going after the truth calmly to know and understand. A lot of times this is where people become sleuths and they become, private eyes trying to understand and figure out what is actually going on in the relationship. They're going through and they're fact checking. They're trying to make sure, did this person actually go here? Did they actually leave this spot? Were they actually telling the truth? And unfortunately, there's a period of time that people have to do this to be able to understand and to be able to get that validation of like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like I recorded that conversation and as I play it back for myself, I realize I'm not crazy in what I said. How I was reacting was based on what they were doing to me. Because the thing you have to understand is the narcissist will make you feel out to be crazy. They'll try to gaslight you to being crazy, and they'll try to shame and devalue and smear you to make other people think that you're crazy. The thing you have to know and the thing you have to understand when we're talking about narcissism is reaction control. Narcissists are looking for you to react. And when you stop reacting, when you take away that power of them causing you to react, you change the game. A lot of times people think like, oh, I need to tell the narcissist that they're wrong. I need to make sure they understand that I know their game. I need to make sure all this kind of stuff. And they try to play the game with the narcissist. And the thing is, you can't play the game with the narcissist when you don't know the rules because the rules are constantly changing. And if there was rules, it wouldn't matter because the narcissist isn't tied to those rules moralistically. You start to win the game when you disengage from the game. A lot of times people think they have to interact with it. You don't. But when you take back your control over your reactions, that is huge in taking back your power. So you have to understand that the reactions you have, they need to be intentional. Because what happens is the narcissist intentionally tries to manufacture your reactions. So you have to come to the table being intentional about how you're acting on a day-to-day basis. Is this freaking hard? Absolutely. But it's the only thing that will help make sure that you internally start to calm down, that you internally are able to hold back from lashing out when the narcissist is purposely trying to trigger you. That's the game. Let me poke you long enough until you react in an abusive way so I can video you, so I can make everybody see that you're actually the crazy one when you're not. That's why you have to defend the truth calmly. You have to know, hey, that's not true. You know that's not true. This is actually what you said. This is actually what we agreed on. This is actually what happened. And a lot of times with that, you also have to get to the place where you remove yourself from that situation. Maybe it's irate, maybe it's raging out, maybe it's upset, maybe there's a whole lot of different things going on there, but you need to make sure that you're safe. And ultimately, for a lot of people, it means you need to remove yourself out of the relationship, because that relationship has gotten so toxic and so detrimental to your safety, to your emotional health, that you have to move out. You need to understand the way to be able to win against a narcissist is to not give them the reaction, because what they're looking for is to play the game of manufacturing a reaction out of you. And when you react, that's when they win. So to be able to work against that, you have to make sure that you're able to deal with it in a calm way and be able to work through those interactions mentally and emotionally so that you don't give them that reaction, so you don't give them that supply, and that's how you win.